What's up, everybody? Welcome to Neighborly Discourse. This is Billy riding solo today. So we're going to put together a nice video reaction podcast for you guys. So you can watch it, you can listen to it. It is something I saw from Bill Maher. You know how I like my shorts, my reels, things that are short. I love the shorts. So I came across this Bill Maher video. And he talks about how by 2024, according to a Gallup poll, we're all going to be gay. So I found it interesting. I looked up the actual video. So we're going to have it's a 9-minute video. We're going to have a reaction, a podcast about that subject. If it's interesting to you, hang on and listen. If not, maybe you'll get 10 minutes at the end. My pool just got built. Me and Briella are doing a podcast, my 4-year-old daughter. Couple other things to talk about, but this struck my interest. I've said it many times on here. Politics is not my thing. I don't like talking about it. It's a bothersome part of my life. But though it is political, this is interesting to me because this is people. I like the people part of things. That's how I classify it. That's what gets me through the day when it comes to this political garbage. The people that do and say some of the stuff, I don't get it. So we're going to play this video, Bill Maher, and we are going to find out exactly what is going on. Get everything set up. Hit play. Here we go, Mr. Maher.
And finally, new rule: if something about the human race is changing at a previously unprecedented rate, we have to at least discuss it. Broken down over time, the LGBT population of America seems to be roughly doubling every generation. According to a recent Gallup poll, less than 1% of Americans born before 1946, that's Joe Biden's generation, identify that way. 2.6% of boomers do. 4.2% of Gen X, 10.5% of millennials, and 20.8% of Gen Z.
All right, so 0.8% of the silent generation, I guess they're called, way older, the Biden area, the 80-year-old people. The boomers, 2.6, Gen X, 4.2, millennials, 10.5, Gen Z, 20.8. Part of that is people are more open and accepting. And people feel a little more free because, back in the day, at least when I was a kid, you were in the closet. You couldn't say anything about being gay. People would ostracize you, all this stuff. Personally, that's never bothered me. I couldn't care less. But it's more free, I guess. So part of this is good. It's true. And I think the other part, it's popularity, in my opinion. I hope it's more people living freely and less stress, but I do believe some people think it's popular, or it could be I'm identifying as gay. Like, in my opinion, you're born gay. It's biological. There's something that makes up your genetics that makes you attracted to the same sex. I would say these people, the word identify, they're identifying as homosexual, though they're probably not. Like, you identify as a woman. Are you? If you're a man, it's an obvious answer, no. But, so let's see what else he has to say.
Means if we follow this trajectory, we will all be gay in 2054.
Yeah, it doubles and doubles and doubles. Sorry about that, guys.
And then who's going to buy this chair? I'm just saying that when things change this much, this fast, people are allowed to ask, what's up with that?
I agree.
All the babies are in the wrong bodies? Was there a mix-up at the plant, like with Captain Crunch's Oops Old Berries?
Maybe.
It wasn't that long ago when adults asked a kid, what do you want to be when you grow up? They meant what profession?
That lady didn't look like she liked that answer very much.
America about to lose abortion rights. The ACLU
Well, hold on a second. We'll rewind that back. Americans are not about to lose abortion rights. Misinformation. Where's the Ministry of Truth? Come on, Mr. Bill Maher, you know better than that. The Supreme Court is thinking about saying this isn't a constitutional issue. Leave it up to your states to decide, which is how America is supposed to be. 50 individual little countries working together to make the United States. That's how it's set up to be. And the federal government only does the big stuff. The abortion thing is not the big stuff. So stop the misinformation. No one is about to lose their rights. Individual states are going to have individual rights. You don't have to live in that state. It sounds crass. Move your life. I get it. It's a crappy situation. But you don't have to live in a place that doesn't have your best interest. This is America. Freedom. Go to the next state over. It's, again, I'm not trying to be like it's easy to up and move your life. But if your need to have an abortion is that strong, you might be in the wrong state if your state changes the rules. But it's not going away. Let's not get carried away with that. Come on, Bill Maher. You're better than that, bro.
In the wake of America about to lose abortion rights, the ACLU recently tweeted a list of those who would be disproportionately harmed by this. You would think women might top that list? No, wasn't even on the list. Second on the list was LGBT. Really? Abortion rights affects gay and trans people more than, breeders?
You can't make this stuff up. I'm not seeing the police talking about, but it affects trans and gay people. It affects women. It affects men. Like you said, the breeders. One may want the kid, one may not. It doesn't affect them, but they're making it about them. Pay attention. We've spoken about this before. They've used up women. They've used up minorities. They know they got them in the bag, the Democrats, the liberals. They're moving on to the next group they can manipulate. Keep that in mind. The biggest affecting for abortion would be women. They're not even on the list according to Bill Maher. That's crazy.
I'm happy for LGBT folks that we now live in an age where they can live their authentic lives openly.
I'm with that.
Always be mindful of respecting and protecting. But someone needs to say it. Not everything's about you.
Very true.
And it's okay to ask questions about something that's very new and involves children. The answer can't always be that anyone from a marginalized community is automatically right. Trump card, mic drop, end of discussion.
Bro, play it again. Play it again, producer Billy.
That anyone from a marginalized community is automatically right. Trump card, mic drop, end of discussion.
No, he's 100% right. Just because you are marginalized or what do they say, disenfranchised, but this is America. You're not. You don't have to live in the areas you live in. You don't have to work at the job you work at. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do unless you break the law and you have to go to jail. Other than that, you are free to follow the rules and live a free life and reach for the stars. That's what America is about. So for you to, I'm disenfranchised, so I have to say this. And I'm like, a great example is what just happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. She said something, they ran with it, almost destroyed this guy's life, Johnny Depp's life. Come to find out through testimony, through recordings, she's crazy. She did it on purpose. She tried to ruin his life on purpose. Now, hopefully people wake up to that. But just because you say you're the victim, just because you don't want to debate, doesn't mean you're right. Thanks, Bill Maher. Keep it going, buddy.
Because we're literally experimenting on children.
Let's rewind that back a little bit. We're experimenting on children, he says.
Marginalized community is automatically right. Trump card, mic drop, end of discussion. Because we're literally experimenting on children. Maybe that's why Sweden and Finland have stopped giving puberty blockers to kids. Because we just don't know much about the long-term effects. Although common sense should tell you that when you reverse the course of raging hormones, there's going to be problems. We do know it hinders the development of bone density, which is kind of important if you like having a skeleton.
So one very weird thing that he said, and again, I do say weird, they're stopping the use of puberty blockers. Now, we all know people are using them. Like the chart showed in the beginning, most of this stuff, some of this stuff, not most, could be for popularity. People want to fit in. They're using their kids as a vessel to fit in with the new crowd. I don't know what the reasoning would be. But we know they're giving puberty blockers to kids. It's disgusting. It's sick. And it makes a very good point. When a boy, when you start getting testosterone, a woman, when you start getting your period, your body starts to change. You start getting the hormones you need to become a strong person, male or female. These things prohibit that. They stop it. Puberty is very important for your survival, for your safety. To case in point here, bone density, bone growth. You can't have people out there breaking when the wind blows. Is everybody going to be Mr. Glass? Come on, man. The fact that we have to stop giving this is the problem. You know, we've said it before, the book Steve reads, Speechless. We argue the wrong stuff. Why are they stopping at this age, that age? How about don't do it to begin with? It should be the stopping point of the argument. But here we are. They're stopping puberty blockers. And listen, we've talked about it before again. Most of the world doesn't do this crap. They say it, they do this, that, and the other. They've got their pride and their popularity stuff. But America, man, the freedom here allows people to be idiots because there's nothing to hold them in check. Laws for freedom should be more severe and more precise. Boom, not varying because your mom didn't hold you when you were a kid. But the world is waking up to this crap. But we are going to be the last ones because it's not about the safety or the thought of that person. It's about the money manipulating the votes for the Democrats to stay in perpetual power. Again, they got the black vote all but wrapped up. Minority vote, women, gender, all but wrapped up. So we got them in the bag. Let's manipulate other people, make men think they're women, women think they're men, and let's fight for them. Like, it's craziness.
The development of bone density, which is kind of important if you like having a skeleton.
I like having a skeleton.
Fertility and the ability to have an orgasm seem also to be affected. This isn't just a lifestyle decision, it's medical. Weighing trade-offs is not bigotry.
Did you guys hear that? Weighing trade-offs. You're a bigot if you don't want your kid to impede in someone's life wanting to change genders, want to go through puberty, blocking drugs. No, it's not. It's a safety issue. If someone steps in, listen, that's crazy. It's child abuse. I'm not a bigot. Your body at this time in your life goes through serious changes to propel you through the rest of your life. It's not just the building blocks now in your teenage years get you the rest of the way. And they're trying to stop that. Now, Conspiracy Corner, they know it's going to make you brittle and beat up where you can't go to work. You got to get disability. You got to depend on the government to survive. Who knows? We know that's how they operate. But just because I say you're wrong doesn't mean I'm a bigot. It means I care about that kid. And it means I care about you, that you've got something going on in your head. You need attention or whatever it is. Get it together. That's what it's for. But if you're the person who truly feels you got something going on, it's because you've lived a life 20, 30 years where you felt odd the entire time. You have every right to make a decision to do whatever you want. But a child, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, has not lived a life in what they feel like someone else's body. They've not walked a mile in someone else's shoes. So they don't know. And other people should step in like he's saying. It's not bigotry. Stop doing that. This kid doesn't know what life is yet. Do you know they contribute all these suicides to, all the bigotry and all the stuff for suicides for trans and people like that? It's the ones who've done it and regret it and can't go back. There's a Facebook page. It's almost impossible to find. Hopefully when this video comes out, I'll have a link to it. But it's I wish I never did this page. Thousands and thousands of people. They got caught up in the hype, but they felt something and realized, you know what? I'm just gay. I'm not a woman in a man's body. I went and I lopped this off and I got this sewn and I did. Come to find out, no, it's just having a bad day. That's a real group of people. that nobody talks about because they show that the transgender thing, if not done properly, could really be harmful. The media doesn't care about those people. They do not help their cause. They parade these clowns out there who do and say all this crazy stuff, while the person, the real normal like you and I, gay or otherwise, normal human being, goes about their everyday life. Our sexuality does not define us. We are made up of our environment, of our surroundings, our families, our job, our political views, our entertainment likes. All of that makes us a person. We're not identified by our sexuality. And the liberals are trying to show you it's that or nothing. Like you said, just because I'm stepping in doesn't mean I'm a bigot. It means I think there's something wrong, and I would feel regretful if I didn't try to say something. That's what he's talking about.
Weighing trade-offs is not bigotry. Yet when a book questioning the sudden uptick in transitioning children was released, a trans lawyer with the ACLU named Chase Strangio tweeted, "Stopping the circulation of this book and these ideas is 100% a hill I will die on."
It's people
Well, very
no.
civil liberties of him. Chase, by the way, has just been named one of the grand marshals of this year's New York City Pride March, along with 3 other trans people and a lesbian. Huh, what's missing here? Oh, right, a gay man.
The reason for all the starting of this. Like I said, they used them up.
Now, gay men aren't hip enough for the gay pride parade.
The liberals used them and tossed them to the side. Unbelievable.
To trans, gay is practically cis, and cis is practically Mormon.
Mitt Romney, get out of here. But he's right. Nothing is good enough anymore. You can't just be gay. You've got to be flamboyant out there gay. Then you can't just be flamboyant out there gay. You've got to be wanting to switch genders. They're making people feel like social media. Everyone's life sucks, so to speak, but you get a 0.3 second picture and everybody thinks you live the greatest life in the world. Meanwhile, you don't, but some other kid who has poor upbringing, no good structure of family around them, no good self-esteem, thinks that their life sucks based on these people's fake social medias, and they commit suicide or they fake something, and it's horrible. And that's what this is. They're making some straight people think, I don't matter, I've got to be gay. They're making gay people think, I don't matter, I've got to be outlandish. They're making those people think, I got to be trans. They're making people not feel they're good enough just being themselves. That's a problem. It doesn't matter who you are. You got to make sure you're okay with you. I say this all the time, and I use it as a, like when me and Amy get into a little dust up or something like that, or even the kids or just people in general. Don't let other people, don't have your happiness be dependent on somebody else, because you will always be disappointed. You need to be happy with yourself. And then if you're good, everyone around you can be good. So don't let social media or these people make you feel you're not good enough, because you are. They're not, or they wouldn't try to change you because they need some sort of sick feel out of it. Ignore people's nonsense. Be happy with yourself. Like you said, this isn't good enough anymore. Straight guys are trying to be gay. Gays trying to be way out there gay. Way out there gays trying to switch genders. All because they need to, they're being told, subliminally or otherwise, they're not good enough as themselves. And that's nonsense. Believe in yourself, people.
And this is a phenomenon we need to take into account when we look at this issue. Yes, part of the rise in LGBT numbers is from people feeling free enough to tell it to a pollster, and that's all to the good.
Yeah.
But some of it is, it's trendy. Penis equals man. Okay, boomer.
Adam Carolla, hey! I didn't know Adam Carolla was on this episode. Now I got to find the real episode. Adam Carolla's been playing around. He's logical. Even Bill Maher at times is logical. That's the thing. Logical. He's there at the liberal side of things. He does go way out there on this stuff. But he's one of these people they're leaving behind, but he's clinging on to the global warming and stuff like that. But he's realizing there's people who need attention. Then there's people who are seeking attention. Like people who need to be free, who are not being discriminated against for their lifestyle. That's a good thing. But it's trendy, like he said. And that's a problem, because I believe the same thing. But let's get back to him. I'm going to try to slow it down, but, he's making some very good points.
Man, okay, boomer. Remember, the prime directive of every teen is anything to shock and challenge the squares who brought you up.
Yep.
It's why nobody gets a nose ring at 56.
Very true.
And if you haven't noticed that with kids, doing something for the likes is more important than their own genitals, you haven't been paying attention. Dr. Erica Anderson is a prominent 71-year-old clinical psychologist who is herself transgender and who now says, I think it's gone too far. The LA Times summarizes, she's come to believe that some children identifying as trans are falling under the influence of their peers and social media.
We just talked about that.
Attend a small dinner party of typically very liberal upper-income Angelenos. It is not uncommon to hear parents who each have a trans kid having a conversation about that. What are the odds of that happening in Youngstown, Ohio? If this spike in trans children is all natural, why is it regional? Either Ohio is shaming them or California is creating them.
I mean, put that on a t-shirt. Either Ohio is shaming them or California is creating them. He's 100% right. Look at the areas where you have it. Now, it could also be, again, devil's advocate, it could also be some of those small rural areas are not, quote unquote, caught up with the times. And people are still frightened. Understandable. But also not. Like you said, 10 people in a dinner room of these pinkies out elitists. They're all talking about their transgender children. It's like carrying on a puppy in your purse or a new pair of shoes. Oh, that's Timmy now Tanya. Check her out. It's just trendy for them. It's disgusting.
Why is it regional? Either Ohio is shaming them or California is creating them.
I mean, fantastically put.
It's like that day we suddenly all needed bottled water all the time.
Oh, don't get me started on bottled water.
Admit that in certain enclaves there is some level of trendiness to the idea of being anything other than straight, then this is not a serious science-based discussion. It's a blow being struck in the culture wars using children as cannon fodder.
Disgusting.
I don't understand parents who won't let their 9-year-old walk to the corner without a helmet, an EpiPen, and a GPS tracker. And God forbid their lips touch dairy. But
hold on there, Mr. Bill Maher. I don't like dairy. It's not made for people. Okay? We'll get to that another day. But he's right. When I was a kid, I was out. When the street lights go off, you got to be home. Same with Amy. Now, like, our kids don't go outside. We have a camera outside the garage to see who's out there, if he's playing basketball, doing his thing. Like, what happened? Who scared us? All the news growing up, was that part of it to get us as kids scared about when we become parents? I mean, I remember this, I remember that. On the news, they said this kid got kidnapped here. When we're parents, now we got to make sure our kids don't go anywhere. I mean, people are crazier, maybe. Or they're always been this way. We just see it more because of social medias and the 24-hour news cycle. But yeah, man, like Liam doesn't go anywhere by himself. He stays home by himself at times. You know, what normal 13-year-old kids are doing. We got the camera, padlocks, all that stuff, deadbolts. Same thing I did when I was growing up. But, yeah, man, like, look at these people. The helmets, they can't go outside. They got to have, remember, what was the movie Little Giants? That a kid get all wrapped up in the bubble wrap and his mom when he's playing football? These are real things. It could be precautionary, but I think Jordan Peterson, we talked about it before, said it best. If your kid is doing something dangerously, carefully, let them do it. That's how they learn. If they're doing something dangerously, carefully, that's how they learn. So let your kid venture around the block once in a while, but, stay far behind them. Don't let them just run around randomly, but branch out a little bit. They're going to enter the world one day. They've got to be as prepared as possible. And they're not going to get that sitting at home playing a video game.
But hormone blockers and genital surgery, fine.
Let me run that back because I cut off a good point he was making.
And God forbid their lips touch dairy, but anything other than straight, then this is not a serious science-based discussion. It's a blow being struck in the culture wars using children as cannon fodder. I don't understand parents who won't let their 9-year-old walk to the corner without a helmet, an EpiPen, and a GPS tracker. And God forbid their lips touch dairy, but hormone blockers and genital surgery, fine.
Great point.
Talk about a nut allergy.
That's funny.
I guess penises are gross now, but one might come in handy later on. And if you're a man who wants to experience life without a pair of balls, you do not have to get surgery. You can get married.
I was going to say the same thing.
And never forget, children are impressionable and very, very stupid.
Listen, he's right. They're impressionable. They're stupid. Another word for impressionable, which is why the Democrats, the liberals, are going after them, because they're impressionable. And they're going after ones who don't have a strong family life, who are, or can be manipulated through technology or through books. They've identified some of these kids. They go after them all, but after a few weeks or so, they know which ones to go after. We got to pay attention. You have to pay attention to your kids. They're impressionable, like he says. It's not. They're not doing this by accident.
And never forget, children are impressionable and very, very stupid. Kids don't know why mom drinks every day or why dad has 2 cell phones.
For work.
The boy who thinks he's a girl is just gay. Or whatever Frasier was. Maybe the girl who hates girly stuff just needs to learn that being female doesn't mean you have to act like a Kardashian.
Oh boy, he's 100% right, like with that one. Girls can play softball, baseball, basketball, sports. You can like trucks. You can do all that stuff. Doesn't mean you're gay. You're going to be a man. It means you're not a girly girl. You used to be called a tomboy. That's okay. Teach your kids that, especially little girls. They're allowed to be rough and tough.
Maybe childhood makes you sad sometimes, and there are other solutions besides hand me the dick saw.
It's a great term.
And look, I'm sure the vast majority of parents do not take this lightly, and that it's very hard to know when something is real or just a phase. And I understand being trans is different, it's innate. But kids do also have phases. They're kids, it's all phases.
Very true.
The dinosaur phase, the Hello Kitty phase. One day they want to be an astronaut, the next day you can't get them to leave their room. Gender fluid, kids are fluid about everything. If kids knew what they wanted to be at age 8, the world would be filled with cowboys and princesses.
It's not wrong.
I wanted to be a pirate. Thank God nobody took me seriously and scheduled me for eye removal and peg leg surgery.
Man, I tell you what, that's a good one there. I think the old man says that. When your kid wants to grow out and be a pirate, are we going to start cutting off their legs and popping out their eyes? And if you say, oh, no, that's silly. Why is that silly? Why is it silly when I say I want to be a pirate and ask you, are you going to cut out my eye and chop off my leg? And something here you see, which I don't know if you see much anymore. I don't know who the lady was that was on the show. I assume she's liberal, maybe. I assume. I don't know who she is. But Bill Maher does himself liberal and conservative. You don't see that nowadays. Like these, talk show hosts, they align themselves with Democrats and liberals. Bill Maher looks for the debate. He's not looking for a yes man. He's looking to talk to somebody. I mean, he was on Ben Shapiro a few months ago. You don't see guys like that. You don't see, Lori Lightfoot or any of these crazy liberals talking to a conservative. Not at all. They want to spout their crap, do as I say, not as I do, and go about their day. Well, that's why they need censorship, because they've never developed debating skills, because they're afraid of it. Bill Maher talks to these people. Jordan Peterson on a few years back. That's why people like Joe Rogan. To his own admission, he's liberal, but they're leaving him behind. Like Bill Maher has said, like Elon Musk has said. He's there talking to people, Joe Rogan. I just want your perspective, that's all. I don't agree with this, but you do. Why? That's what Steve and I do. We talk to people throughout the week, friends, whatever, read articles, come onto the show and we talk about it. Why do you think how you think? So that's it. That's that Bill Maher stuff, man. Old school liberal, still out there. But he's making points that these new school indoctrinated liberals need to pay attention to. So share it. Let them know. When I tell you I think it's wrong, you're giving your kid a puberty blocker, I'm not a bigot. I'm not trying to impede your whatever. I'm trying to make sure you're hurting physically, health-wise, you are hurting this child. That's what I'm doing. It's crazy, man. People are something, man. They do some weird things. They want attention. They want to fit in. I don't know what it is. Like I've I don't know, for as long I was voted most outgoing in high school. For those of you who listen, you'd probably be shocked by that. I was voted most outgoing in high school. As an adult, except for my kids and Amy, like my real close-knit family, friends included, I could live in this studio and not have any problems. The outside world, get it away from me. When COVID hit, I was practicing for 30 years. Staying home, watching TV, doing nothing? Okay. What about my day has changed? This is just how I am as I get older. The older I get, the more homebound I become. But Amy's here. My kids are here. My family's down the road. I don't need much else. Like my closest friends all live within a stone's throw from my house. A couple moved away, but again, fantasy football, we FaceTime. But I got all I need. I don't need all this stuff. You know what I mean? So the world's crazy. If I step in because I think you're doing some harm for your kid, I would feel, what's the word, remiss if I didn't say, hey, you may mess up your kid. Great Family Guy episode. Chris gets chemically castrated. It's a weird episode. Check it out. It's a great one. All Family Guy episodes are great. But that's it. I'm not going to ramble much longer. 45 minutes a day. Whoop, I kicked the camera. Earthquake. There's 45 minutes is a perfect amount of time. That's my goal for every podcast, 45 and out. I should name it 45 and out. But if you got kids out there, Billy and the Breeze podcast, look up Billy and the Breeze on YouTube. It's video only. Billy and the Breeze. I am in here literally talking to my 4-year-old daughter about Frozen, Moana, Encanto, our new pool, games, stuff she watches, her ballet, her gymnastics. It's every Sunday we record, releasing on Monday. The week that was through the eyes of a 4-year-old. That's what we do. Talk about our donuts, all sorts of stuff. If you've got kids, we try to keep it under 30 minutes. It was 20-something minutes today. Try to get it down to about 20, 15 to 20. But yeah, man, kid stuff. What the heck, right? It's the wave of the future. Maybe she'll be an influencer one day. And, one more on our side is good. Who knows? But it's fun. It's something I do with my daughter. I do the fantasy football with Liam. Now with Breeze, we do our podcast, Billy and the Breeze podcast, only on YouTube and Rumble, but right now only on YouTube. And, that's that. Hope you guys have a great day. I will talk to you on Friday. That was a weird blink. Talk to you guys on Friday.